Hi, this is Christy. This is week 3, and this is my video response to the moderator's videos. There were, after watching each one of the groups and looking at the questions, there were pretty much like 3 main points that I kind of got from the reading, and that each one of the groups touched on, in different ways. The first one, I think that really hit me was that in order to have an ecological society and one in which we're connected back kind of to our roots, doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go, and I like the phrase, sell our assets and go to a hippie compound. I think what it has to do more of is that connection that we have to each other and to just, interpersonal relationships that we have kind of lost over time. Also noting that if we're not really in touch with each other, and then it makes it even harder to have that connection with the natural world, and see ourselves as part of that when we're not even really connected to each other. The other reading, I really liked Group 4's question. Watching that, I love thinking about how food has to do with, the whole discrimination when it comes to environmental discrimination, when it comes to minorities. One of the things that I have dealt with at work is the concept of food deserts, where you have areas, sections of your population that don't have access to fresh foods, fruits, fresh vegetables, or to be able to go to a grocery store. And I see a lot of parallels with that, even though in this case we're talking about exposure to pollutants. And the example that was given was in South Carolina, where folks were eating contaminated fish and whatnot. So I think that we all touched on the concept of lack of mobility, lack of education, keeps minorities that are already suffering from low economics from being able to pick up and move, find another job that would promote safety, would help them to better themselves, get out of the situation where they're not exposed to environmental toxins. And I think that's something that it's a hard concept to think of a solution for, because it's so multifaceted when you add into the fact that we're talking about education, we're talking about working on even that language barrier with Latino populations that maybe but we're not communicating safety measures well. And I don't know, I think that's one of the reasons, like I said in my initial video, one of the reasons that I was interested in this program as a whole is that concept of being able to defend rights of minorities. And this aspect of pollutants is just a good example of that I think happens pretty frequently in our society. And going back to the readings that we had last week and Leopold, and I think that's a really good way of, his writing style was amazing, a really good way to look at trying to find that connection again and connecting back to each other, connecting back to the earth. And so, sorry, my cats are, hi. So I think that's probably, a good way to wrap up this video is, just touching back on Leopold. So, thanks. See ya.